you're just beginner right now and you figure out what the repetitive mistakes that you're making in chess, you could very easily double your elo all the way up from 700 to 1400. I assume that you guys are 700, 800, somewhere at this elo level. And in this video, I'm going to help you understand what the mistake is that you're making, which is very, very constant. The mistake for most people is actually the same. We're gonna understand what it is so that you could level up from there faster. Why should you trust me? I've basically been where you are right now. I've leveled up from there and solved the issue that I had for myself. I was struggling all the way when I was 700, and then I jumped my elo from 700 to 1400. And so this video is probably for you if you're at this stage right now. Let me show you now an example. The theme of this video, okay, the repetitive mistake is usually very common. If you're fixing this, you're gonna level up. Most players are gonna catch if you're making this mistake, and that is why you're stuck at 700. Let's say bishop to e6, king to f1, just pinning the bishop, okay, by running away. Very, very simple thing. Bishop to b4. Threatening against the rook, so the rook moves away to e4. Usual stuff. Black is winning, okay, but here is the mistake that is going to come. Black thinks, I'm going to castle, and then this bishop is not going to be under the threat anymore, okay, because we could move it anywhere we want. This is the issue. Black thought solely about this bishop in this position, and he neglected something else that happens on the board. When Black castled, he neglected that there is a discovered attack that can happen. And guess what? If you're gonna make a blunder like this, your opponent is gonna catch it, okay? Sometimes they don't, okay, but mostly they do. And what White has just done is pawn to d5. So you're attacking this bishop, but you're also attacking the other bishop at the same time. After you take with the bishop here, the rook is just gonna come, rook takes on b4. Now it's an equal position. You were wondering why bishop takes here is an inaccuracy, because the computer really wants you to take here with the pawn and threaten this rook. But again, it's still the same thing. This bishop, after the bishop moves here or the pawn, you can still take here. And that is why it is a blunder. So blunders like this, they are the main reason that beginners stay beginners. If you're gonna stop making this mistake, you're gonna level up from the beginner levels into intermediate pretty fast. And so a little experiment that you can do is, again, I want, because some of you have been already starting to solve this, but still this is the repetitive issue for most of you, okay, and I see this. And so I want you to still come back into your previous games, the games that you solved, the games where you already started to solve this, and see how many times it happens still there. These blunders, like castling here, they're the reason that most beginners are stuck. The more that you minimize them, you're gonna see that you start leveling up. So let's now move to the second example. This time it is an endgame. Okay, let's just move a little bit back. Okay, you see bishop to f3, by the way, a very good move. This move is not only it hurts like the pawn advancement, like here, it threatens the rook. This move really improves Black's position. This is why also the computer says it's the best move. After this, rook to d7, another very good move for the 7th rank. So rook to e8, again, a good move. Okay, you're threatening a checkmate. Fine, okay, so far, so good. Okay, and you can see even they are completely equal. But now there is an issue. The blunder that White makes, which is extremely funny because it is what actually happened, and this game is played again by two beginner players. White had made the move pawn to h4. You can already understand why this is the mistake here, and it's a checkmate. If you're gonna make a blunder like this, your opponent is going to catch it, okay? They're gonna notice this, and they're going to use it against you. And this is the funny thing. This game wasn't played between two 700s, it was played between two 900s. They are both on the higher end, okay? So one of them is 997, okay? The other is 969. It is to stop the one movers that you're making, okay? When you're just focusing on one thing too much, like here, and just neglecting that there's a clear threat on the other side of the board. So how do we stop blunders like what just happened, like h4? How do we stop blunders like this? Sometimes you get it wrong. You will learn you learn from these mistakes, the more that you learn about chess, like positional understanding, like getting your rook here and things like this, then it's going to be more accurate and you're going to make the moves better. It's not an immediate solution, but it is going to gradually make you a lot better in chess. Especially as a beginner, it's going to make you better over the next like few weeks and even months. And so there's three main questions that we can ask. We are here and we're playing this as a black. How can we improve our own position? It's pretty clear he's threatening us, okay, with the rook, and his bishop is here, okay, so it's quite annoying as well. How can we improve from this? Okay, you can take us here as well. What we can do is we can see, is there any way that I can improve my position? It's an endgame, so not that much, but I can hurt his position in this endgame. I can move my bishop here. That is going to stall the progress of these pawns. It's going to be very hard for him to actually make any progress with them by doing this. Okay, so I can move our bishop here. Sweet. This is why it's the best move. Again, the more that you do this, it's going to be more accurate and it's going to minimize inaccuracies and mistakes. From this, the first question is, how can I improve my position? And how can I hurt my opponent's position? That is the second question. And now what White does usually is the exact same thing. He asks himself, okay, how can I improve my position? I can move my rook here, okay, to the 7th rank. It's not gonna improve really my position, but this bishop is attacking, so I need to do something with this rook, and it's really going to be painful for him if my rook is on d7. Okay, and so he does this. And again, you can see this is the excellent move. And so the third question that we have after this, let's say just a move ahead to when the blunder happened, is we had so far, okay, 1, how can I improve my position? 2, how can I hurt my opponent's position? And the third question is it a blunder? And so now you might think, okay, how can I improve? And then you think pawn to h4, but then you're gonna notice, then you're gonna ask the third question, is it a blunder? And you're gonna realize that if you do this, yes, it is a blunder because he could just checkmate me, okay, very, very fast. And so once you understand, yes, it is a blunder, you're going to discard this move. And really, when you're making this question, is it a blunder? Don't just focus on one small part of the board, like here, or like here, like the king side. Focus on the entire board, because then you're gonna notice like things for things such as rook to e1. Okay, if you're gonna be very focused on here, like, okay, how can I progress the pawns? Is it important? You won't notice for this. So when you're asking, is it a blunder? Focus on the board as a whole, not just on a singular part of it. Okay, and so as white, what we have done is we've discarded right now the move pawn to h4, and we have mainly done so because we know now, okay, this rook is a clear threat to us, so we need to figure out a solution for this. So what if, so which piece in our board can help us to do this? We don't really want to move the rook back, of course, because it can't, but even if we could, like anywhere, it's not the best idea because, well, the rook controls the 7th line. But again, because you're not going to focus on one small part in the board, you're gonna see that the bishop doesn't do much anymore. Okay, it doesn't really stop the rook, okay, or anything else. Maybe the only thing it does is to prevent the king from coming here, but you have a clear reason to move it back. So we're gonna think, okay, the bishop can help me. How can he help me? I can move him to e3 or to d2. This way you're gonna completely prevent blunders like h4, which is the theme of this video. I leveled up, I'm gonna show you this again, from basically 700 all the way to 1400, because I focused on this in opening, but this is the main thing I focused on. That is how much of a problem it has been for me. So you can see here I've pretty much continued to make this, and here is where I focused, okay, on preventing blunders. And it took me like 2 months basically, but again, it's like doubling your elo in 2 months, so it's still quite nice. So let me give you now some action steps that you can do right after this video. I want you to write somewhere, okay, the thought question process, and have it very close so that you can see it like all the time. Okay, even like you're right now probably watching this on your desk, so like really just take a small piece of paper, write it, put it in front of you, and what I want you to immediately do after this is go to play versus bots. And why do we want to do this? We want you to practice this thought question process and also using it when the bot makes a blunder. The bots that you're usually going to play versus are like rated at 1300, 1400. And so now that you've played it against 2 to 3 bots, again, continuously practicing this thought question process before every move that you make, including like from the opening all the way up until the end game. Now you can basically see, okay, does this work for me versus online players? The next step is just to play versus online players and see, okay, it works for me because of XYZ. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them below and I will do my best to answer all of them. And if you want to learn more the next time that you go into your desktop in order to learn chess, you can consider first, you can consider subscribing, okay? And if you want, I can really help you improve, okay, up until 1600, because I've seen like it's from my own experience that I've done these things, okay, and I can really shortcut the time that it took for me to improve for you. If you want, I can compress all of this time from 2 years to basically like 8 months, and this is the first link in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.